What's up, guys? It's your boy DopeRandy YT back at it again with another episode of the F1 24 career mode. As this time we're gonna do Singapore, the Singapore Grand Prix, and try to build on some positive momentum finally for us here. As we in our last episode of Azerbaijan, you want to talk about a drive. We had one hell of a drive. Started 10th, gained a couple of spots right off the rip on the start. Watched a couple of people blow up. We bid out time, we played the game. And then at the very end, we passed Pierre Gasly for 4th on the last lap to secure a P4 for us, up 6 from the start, which has got us driver of the day. You love to see it. Building in the right direction, and now we go to Singapore. And before we do any of that, we passed Alonso into points. Like, we're kind of just stuck in 6th at the moment in constructors and 5th in the drivers. That is very flush. But yeah, we're coming up on, because yeah, we got 7 races left, including Singapore, so it's time to make your hay. But before we do that, we do have stuff to do here.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Heck yeah. Off to Marina Bay. Off to Singapore. And here we are from the qualifying session here at Singapore.
Down to P22.
And let me tell y'all something. I believe I've got a rocket ship here. This thing is bad fast. Like, I think this is this could be a potential pole winning lap if I can hit all this the way that I want to hit it. And so far, it's so good. But yeah, this is just a fun little street circuit. And it is rather challenging too with all the lefts and the rights. It's very narrow. It's not easy to pass at all on this track. We're really only coming up on one of the only passing zones, and that's this DRS straight. And even then, it's not really that big. Oh, it's this long straight. One of the longest on the track. But I tell you, I think I've got... This felt really strong. And it is the pole, 126.938. That is the pole, my brother and sisters. Oh, that's pretty.
Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix.
It is great to come back.
Around the Marina Bay Circuit, 4 corners have been taken out, the lap length reduced to just over 3 miles. That might be a welcome relief to the drivers, might be even more of a relief for their brakes.
Yeah. It's a good little circuit around
Off the back of a
Marina, the
fantastic
Marina
qualifying
Bay.
session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race.
Almost
Governor lines
by
up on pole
4/10 of a
position.
second.
Fernando Alonso completes the front row.
We
As we
nailed
continue
that
through the
shit.
rest of the grid today, we have
Who do we have?
Stroll, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Ocon, Norris, Oscar Piastri,
Nothing real.
Sonoda,
There's one name
Magnussen,
I haven't seen yet.
Verstappen, Russell,
13th, wow.
Hülkenberg, Gasly, Bottas, Hauger, Behrman, Sargent, Albon.
Oh wow, Albon got a penalty.
It's almost time for the lights to go out, and alongside
That's brutal. Yeah, that's gonna be. I want this thing packed full of gas. I don't want to repeat it because I did remember running out of gas here last year. That was not fun.
Clutch bite is good, gearbox is responding normally. Make sure to warm the tyres and brakes. Warm the tyres and brakes throughout the lap, please.
You got it. But yeah, we got the pole again. And I went back and looked at it. I remember how this race played out. Because, yeah, on lap 1, I choked it. And went to the back. And then we climbed our way back up into the points. And then we ran out of gas. On the white flag lap. And had to coast it home. Looking for a much better result. Hopefully our third win of the season. And it was on this corner. It was on this corner right here where we just absolutely sold the bag completely. The good news is that they're all escape roads. If you do make a mistake, it ain't like you just if you overcook the corners. I mean, you ain't just gonna pound the wall. That felt really good. All right, let's get in here.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
And we've got the angle.
Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
You know, there's a thing called the hole shot in motocross racing, where if you're the first person, you can get the angle into the first corner of the hole shot. That's exactly what we need right here, and this could be cheeky. But we got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. That took forever, but we did get the whole shot. Oh, that's clutch. And Alonso got a good start as well. And it seems like everyone else just got left in the dust. But yeah, your 1-2 starters, all 1-2. And this is what I remember last year. I just have to maintain control this time. But yeah, we're getting through. We're getting through pretty good here, right off the bat. And this year we get through the corner still in the lead. So that's progress. That is progress. But yes, Sainz got up to third. That's about it, as we are going to lead lap 1.
Enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
DRS is enabled. That's gonna allow Fernando Alonso to potentially close up this gap, especially when I have a moment off the corner like that. But he doesn't. He doesn't make anything happen. If anything, we got Carlos Sainz in that Ferrari. He is on a whole nother level, it appears at the moment. Because he has ran us the fuck down. And Ferrari, the other Ferrari, Charles Leclerc has passed Lewis Hamilton for the 4th spot. So the Ferraris, I wouldn't be surprised if the other Ferrari, Leclerc, is going to come and join us. Yeah, I figured Sainz would get the fastest lap.
Sainz is the fastest man on track right now. He's just posted the quickest lap of the race.
Yeah, I think Sainz is the fastest. And I'm not just because he had the fastest lap, but I think Sainz is the fastest car on the track. Or it could be Leclerc. But Alonso with that DRS. I have a wide entry. I took a wide entry on that sweeping right. Just so Alonso couldn't think of any ideas, and it paid off. So yeah, now we got a caution.
Okay, clear.
Something's happened. Oh, I think Charles Leclerc just blew up. I think Charles Leclerc just blew up again. This would be the second time in the last. He did. Leclerc. That's tough. That's brutal, actually. So Charles Leclerc, your championship leader, for the second time in the last 3 races, has a mechanical failure and is out of the session. That is tough. Because yeah, we remember he did it at Monza He did it at Monza as well. And if I'm not mistaken,
So we're leading our teammate by 12.1 seconds.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was also third. He was, yeah, I believe he was either third or fourth at the time. Yeah, I think he was he was either third or fourth when he blew up in Monza. So, yeah. That is, well, I'll tell you what, if Sainz, as we're going to come up on Carlos, as we're going to come up, oh, they pushed Leclerc off the track. But but I tell you, if Carlos Sainz can have a good day here, if he can win this race, or just get on the podium, he will eat that gap. He will cut into that gap significantly on his teammate for the World Drivers' Championship, because the Ferrari boys all won too. I hope that don't happen, as I have led every lap up to this point. As we're walking to complete lap 4 now. And I mean, Alonso and Sainz are there. but it's not like it's a complete, like, I can hang with these guys. Having to use the battery on the DRS so I don't get swallowed up, but I'm keeping Alonso at bay heel. Which is exactly what we want. Especially when we come up upon this DRS straight. I wouldn't mind if Sainz could battle with Alonso. Just try to throw him off this pressure that he's building up on me. Yeah, that was not one of my best sides. As here comes Alonso, trying to take a look on the inside. It ain't gonna happen, though. Oh, that wasn't the best corner. As Lance Stroll has gotten around Lewis Hamilton for the 4th spot, so that the Aston Martins have come to fucking play today. It appears. After really being non-existent in Azerbaijan last race. They are 2nd and 4th at the moment. Remember, Lance Stroll does have a win this year. Remember that. In Hungary. Alonso got a little high. Oh, but then I got loose coming. Alonso dips to the inside, but it's not nearly enough to make a 10-pounder pass. Yeah, this has been the gap the entire race. As we walk lap number 7 here. Yeah, Alonso hasn't really made a serious, legitimate threat to overtake the top spot yet. He's peaked low, but nothing really too menacing. I am shocked that that's not a corner cut. But yeah, I don't mind this at all. At least to the pit stops. Yeah, I think this is going to be the telltale sign right here, because I think Alonso... I'm having to use up this stuff more than Alonso. Oh! Was that a hezzy? Alonso was trying to wiggle that core. Like, I thought he was going to try to make a pass. But no, he just wobbled his way back to behind me. It's like, yeah, it's like a hesitation. I thought he was going to make a move to the outside. But nope, he just tucked in behind us. Yeah, just a little wobble. And I tell you what, the pack is starting to spread out here considerably. If you look at the track map, because yeah, you got us.
Gap to your teammate behind, 15.0 seconds.
Yeah, so a 15-second gap for me to Ollie. And Ollie is back there, looks like in P18. So yeah, it's starting to spread out. That's Alonso's best chance. He hasn't gotten anywhere close on any other part of the track, for that matter. I mean, and I don't blame him, because that is the DRS corner. And I'm having to deploy the battery while he can use the battery and the DRS. And of course, with our Dortmund powertrain, that at times is OP as fuck. Its Hip-Hit A was last week at Baku, where literally the power was the only reason we caught Gasly, along with George Russell's strap, but it was mainly the horsepower. As I tell you, I don't think it's. I mean, it's fairly minimal. Well, not minimal, but it's starting to get a little. Oh, here comes Alonso. Touch right up behind me. I am gonna block the inside for obvious reasons, especially here. That's, you can't. I mean, you could. You could try to make a pass on the outside, but I doubt it's gonna work. And I see that Hamilton has gotten back around Stroll for the 4th spot. I gotta think about.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Alright. Yeah, the right side tiles. Oh shit! That might be the break that Alonso needed. Oh no, not on my watch. And that's how you throw it in there to preserve your lead. That would get your heart pumping a little bit. But I will say this: this is his best chance to make a pass. But he just goes straight to my bumper instead. I keep throwing good blocks. That has to be said. But yeah, Holt was in mouths for a second there. And so I would love to see that replay of the power slide off the rumble strips. Actually, it takes all of your might and gall to keep two-time champion Fernando Alonso behind you, especially when we're going for the lead. But I have led every lap up to this point. And yeah, I've got to start thinking about pit stops. And I'm going to try to undercut this. I especially can't overcut it. Can't do the I can't do the overcut. With the tiles, especially soft tiles at a very distinct shelf life of maybe you get a handful of laps, 5 to 7 laps. But I can feel these tires are starting to give way. I think I'm gonna go one more lap, then I'm gonna pit. That's the plan. Actually, up to this point, it's really gone.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 16.4 seconds.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in this time. As I don't think Alonso's gonna get there. He gets to the outside, and that's not gonna happen. I will say, up to this point, I've thrown... all the blocks I've had have been thrown pretty well. But with that said, I am bringing Hamilton and Lance Stroll into this battle. Or they're joining the conversation, I should say. And then Alonso and Hamilton and Stroll are bringing the two McLaren drivers with the Masueras, Lando and Piastri here. But I'm gonna pit. And I hope I can get out in a spot where I have a lot of track so that I can just drive. And I don't have to worry about traffic.
Okay,
If I can get out...
into the race. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
I think this may be perfect. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Oh, as perfect as it... I mean, maybe a... We'll just see how much of a gap new holds compared to old mediums can be. But I mean, if I had to put myself on a map, that's probably where I would have put myself, is right there. In between Zhao and this little group.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
Yeah, I gotta push. I gotta push. And look, and we got Albon's back here in P. Second, he's the second to last. Yeah, he's the second to last car that's running. That's a little bit of a shock, I'm not gonna lie. I figured he could pick his way through this field. Especially with the amazing run of form he's had on his speed. Actually, it is crowded up there in that lead pack. Oh shit. Didn't get out that corner the way I would like to. And I am praying that one of those guys pit. Oh, that's perfect. Now I just need to pass Soldier. Which... Don't. Thank you. And I've got DRS, so I'm just gonna... Thank you. And go on my merry way. So, in regards to the traffic, that's nearly not as bad as it could have been. Because, yeah, look at... I gained... Look how much time I gained on Fernando Alonso back there. 2.7 now. And what would be even better was if he could somehow get slowed up by Logan Sargent. And he's getting slowed up by Logan Sargent. Because yeah, I've got clean racetrack.
Okay, so all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading 0. Assuming they still look inflated to you, we're going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about.
10-4.
Right, Ollie's coming in for his stop.
And yeah, look at that. We've it's almost it's about 3.25 seconds ahead. The field has really stretched out. And Stroll's fallen out of the top 5. Because that is now Fernando, or that is now Lando Norris up into the 5th spot in the McLaren. But yeah, like look how much of a gap I put on the rest of the field with the short stop. That's what in that. Like I said it. I kept saying that is literally perfect. I could not have timed it any better. Because I mean, the only piece of traffic I had to deal with was Logan Sargent. And I passed him with minimal
That's the
ease.
fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
Oh, not minimal ease, but maximum, like... I got... Yeah, it was perfect. And we did get the fastest lap that last lap with a 1:30.196. But yeah, this is... We're rolling. Now we're rolling. And speaking of rolling, when I get to a straight heel, yeah, look how much fuel I've burned off already. I've burned off about almost a lap and a half of gas. Yeah, because I put 5.5 laps to the good, and we're almost down to 4. So yeah, yeah. So I've already lost about a lap and a half of gas. Which is insane. But it just shows, like, these street circuits, you can't really save gas on street circuits. Unless it's like a wet race. Well, it's pulling down the damn rain and you have to lift in order to not crash. But luckily for us, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Because I did remember last year, that was kind of painful. Literally coasting to the start-finish line. After walking our way back up through the field. Because yeah, this was the first race. Or, no. Baku was the first race. We got points. But this next race in Singapore last year, it was like, okay, we got the pole. We truly can, like, not just sneak in a point. And with us getting better and better and better. Like, right now, up to this point, this would be... I mean... I said it. I said it for science earlier. But heck, the championship leader was going to finish dead last in this race. If I can get 26 points, you know, you never know. There's 7 races left. I do have a pretty sizable gap. But if he keeps having the reliability problems, and we keep doing that, and we keep doing this, because you saw the points, it's like from 3rd to about 7th is really, I mean, it's not tightly contested, but it's a couple of bad races from Lando, and he could drop to 7th, and a couple of good races from Fernando Alonso can pull him into 3rd. And it's amazing how they're both in the top 5 in this race. But I continue to lead. We have led all 20 laps up to this point. As we walk lap number 21 from Singapore. Yeah, we've officially lost a lap and a half of gas in 20 laps. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be that much. I mean, surely we won't run out of gas. Surely. But you never know. I do know that Fernando Alonso has pulled and he's driven away a little bit from Carlos Sainz. It's put a couple of seconds on exceeded track limits. That's the first one we've gotten today. Yeah, that was not a good lap for us. That would be abysmal. As we got 10 laps to go here in the Singapore Grand Prix. But yeah, if we lost a 3-second time penalty would be absolutely horrific at this point. But yeah, Alonso's driven away. He's pulled a couple of seconds on Sainz. Seems like everyone's got a couple of second gap to each other. Because yeah, it's about 2 seconds from Alonso to Sainz, a second and a half from Sainz to Hamilton, and Hamilton to Norris is 2 seconds. Everyone is all spread out. At least that's for me to, and I'm going to say that's for Verstappen and the Red Bull. So from P1 to P7. And then there's a huge gap back to the rest of them. But as for us, we just need to manage this race. Not necessarily looking at the interval every corner, but just drive our race. We're doing what we need to do. We're chilling. But this track is difficult. So we cannot let up at all. Well, Alonso is going to be right there, ready to pounce. That was a really good corner. I mean, we're only about six at...
Teammate behind, 33.8 seconds.
Speaking of teammate, Ollie is, looks like he's in P... What would that be? If one call went out, that's P18 for Ollie. Not a bad little result, I guess. It's not last. Yeah, we've put a little gap on Fernando Alonso. Yes, yeah, we just need the laps to click. What we don't, and I tell you the last thing we need, and that's a fucking safety call. That would be brutal for us. Because that would basically reduce this whole gap down to nothing. And we all do to have a safety call. We haven't had one. We haven't had one in a while. I don't think since Spa have we had a safety call. And that was a full safety call. The last actual safety call was in Hungary. That's right. It was Hungary. We had a safety call. I think 2 of them. Not just one. Because Silverstone we had one as well. Well, just when I say that we're kind of pulling away from Alonso a little bit, he's thrown into God mode over here and has clicked off as second. It's up to 2.5 now. And so has Carlos Sainz. But the other 2 have not. Hamilton and Lando. It's just I just need to continue to hit the smart seal. And that's all we really need to do. I'll tell you what would be nice. And that would be if Alonso or if Sainz could if Sainz could come into Alonso's DRS, because he is gaining on the guy. Yeah, if Sainz could come into Alonso's DRS and those 2 could battle, that would probably be the race for us. Actually, I did come into pit a couple of laps earlier than Alonso. And even though they all hold tires, it is starting to show. I mean, you got 10, 22. Yeah, the highest one is 26% on the right wheel. So that's not terrible at all, actually. And Sainz has gotten within his DRS. Sainz has gotten within Alonso's DRS. So that's a development. Speaking of developments, we have Oscar Piastri is now in the top 5. He has passed his teammate, Lando. And that's a fierce little foursome between the 2 McLarens, Lance Stroll and Verstappen for 5, 6, 7 and 8. But yeah, we've stabilized this gap to Fernando. I am living on the edge of getting another corner cut penalty. Or another corner cut warning, I should say. We got 4 laps to go. Still 2.5 seconds. But the big story of that lap is that Sainz has got within Alonso's DRS. And those two are going to be battling. Those two, I would imagine they're going to be side by side. Coming into this next corner here. Actually, and there they go. Sainz is up into second. Sainz is up into P2. And look at that gap. That gap shot over 3 seconds. About a half a second gained. Just from that one battle. And, I don't know if Sainz has... I don't think Sainz will have enough time. And I don't think Alonso's done either with that battle. He'll just come back at him again. As we're going to be on 3 laps to go right here. And yeah, the gap did grow.
By 39.2 seconds.
39.2 seconds is the gap to Ollie Behrman. But the more important one is the gap to Carlos Sainz and the Ferrari, which is about 2.9, 2.8, 2.9, something like that. So we just have to manage the race. We don't have to put down qualifying laps, but we also can't be putting down slow laps. And I thought Alonso would give him a little bit more of a battle. But I guess Sainz is the quicker man at this moment. Sainz is definitely the quicker man. He's cutting into this gap. Now, I know I took a little wider line right there, a more neutral line, but still, he's cutting into this gap. Little wide, but we got 2 laps to go. Cut the gap down about 6/7 of a second. That would not be enough for Sainz to get me at the flag, but he's trying his damnedest. And that Ferrari red and white. And Alonso, I don't think it's going to get to him. They'll win his DRS, but I don't think he's going to get there. Yeah, I've burned off now over 2 laps of gas. Which is insane to think about. For an F1 race, to burn over 2 laps of fuel that you had projected. Actually, we're running. This is a pretty good lap for us. We've been neutral. Up until that corner, we were about neutral with Sainz. Actually, as long as we don't make any mistakes here, I think we've got it. As we are going to come to the white flag of this event. From Marina Bay.
Final lap of the race. Final lap.
1 lap to go in the Singapore Grand Prix, presented by Credit One Bank. Hashtag cheap plug at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. We are ahead by 2 seconds on Carlos Sainz. 2.5 to Fernando Alonso, who may have something for Carlos Sainz, which would be perfect for us. And he had nothing. He had nothing for Carlos Sainz. But I think as long as we don't fumble the bag here, I think we're going to be all right. And again, I've noticed we've basically led the entire race. We haven't had any pressure, really. Well, Alonso kept peeking under us. Kept going to our outside a couple of times. But I never really got past. I was side by side, but I never really got past. But I've one more corner to go, and I think we've got it. And here comes the Checo flag, and we are the winners.
Yes, guys, yes! Come on, boys!
We are the winners in Singapore.
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Thank you, lad. Holy shit, that was an amazing race. That was clutch. Led all of it.
It's never easy to make it across the finish line here in Singapore, but they've done so with some style.
Yeah, Singapore, that was...
Well, what a thrilling end to an...
You know, we never really pulled out, but... we just maintained the lead.
Absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Hell yeah. And by the way, that was Sergio Perez, not Max Verstappen. Max didn't even get a point. That's insane. But that was perfect. Just... I mean, it did look easy. It wasn't as easy as we made it out to be, but... I don't know, just something about that car in my driving style fits the Marina Bay Street Circuit.
Morning, boss. This week's income from the sponsors is cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
Hell yeah. So, we're still 5th in the standings, but look at the gap. Look at this gap. We have closed in on this gap to Lando and Matt and all those boys. In Leclerc, it's a 66-point gap. That's average 11 points a race. It's doable. That's about all I can say. It's doable, but it's going to take a Herculean effort. But we got Lando and Matt's right there with us now. We pulled from Alonso a little bit, and George. But yeah, the constructors, we gained... Yeah, the Mercedes bunch, the Red Bull bunch, Aston Martin. It was such pretty good weekend for us. Pretty good indeed. And so, yeah, I think that's going to do it, guys. Heck yeah. So the next race is in Texas. That is the Circuit of the Americas, aka COTA. And yeah, that's going to... We'll see y'all for that one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The next race is in COTA at Texas. Y'all have a good one. And peace out, guys.